Um, okay, so I guess my question to you, first question is, what brought you back? You retired at one point and then you came back to the sport. You just won by knockout recently. What brought you back?
Well, basically, I would say in most part is the war in my country because the main reason of my retirement was I was thinking I will start doing business, which I already start doing in Ukraine, but then the war started and all my plans were ruined and I just have to do something. And during this break, I would say I still keep training and I think it was a good idea to come back.
What kind of businesses were you going to start?
I was trying to do gambling business, basically online casino. I obtained a license in Ukraine, but didn't manage to open basically my casino, so it was just ruined.
Okay, that's interesting. I've heard a few things, tall tales possibly. Are you a legendary chess player? I've heard stories that you're a great chess player.
Not at all.
Okay, so that's a tall tale. Someone told me to get set up. So you're not a good chess player?
Well, I mean, I can play on a just very ordinary level, like probably you can, or I don't know, your level. Let's put it this way. It's very easy to figure the way you play in chess, either good or not. My ELO maybe like 1000 on chess.com. So this is speaking for itself. It's low. And I mean, I can play a little bit. I know how to move the pieces, but that's it.
Okay. Someone had told me that like you were like a sneaky, really good chess player, and I was wondering if we might go a different direction with it, but
Depends
well,
who to play against. If I will play my kids, yeah, I will be so good. But if I play person who know how to play chess, I would be terrible.
sounds like me in sparring. I spar certain people
Probably.
really well, and then when they're really good, I never want to put on a pair of boxing gloves.
Right.
Well, what brought like when you came back, were there any sparring sessions? I believe you sparred Canelo at one point.
Well,
Was
this is basically how it's ever since started. I didn't even think it about boxing. Basically, the war just started. It was like 1 week. I was watching. It was. I just couldn't believe this is gonna happen to my country. And then I realized my perspectives for future. And then out of nowhere, Ellie Segback called me and give Canelo on the line, give him the phone, and he said, "Hey, come help me to spar." He was getting ready to be wall. And I like, come on, man, I'm not even in shape. So basically, he said, no, 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 we're not here to compete. We're here to learn, to train. And then this is it. And then like next week, I would have been in Canelos camp for the Bivol fight. And then I start sparring with him. And in the beginning, it was very challenging, but then I start like keep it up. And then in the end of the camp, I start feeling pretty comfortable against him. And then this was my decision. I was thinking, I still in pretty good shape. Why not to try it again?
and then you had a few fights. I felt as though people really underestimated your abilities going into the Benavidez fight, and you had a very, very good fight with Benavidez. Hindsight, what do you take from that fight with Benavidez?
I mean, I guess I did. I don't have any like complaints on myself or any question to myself. I did what I could do. David is a very great fighter. Very very hard to be in a ring with. But well, I think I could do better. Maybe he could do better. But happened what happened. You know, no excuses, no complaints. He was just better guy that night. And again, if I would have a chance to fight again, I would be happy to take this fight, or I just have to deserve this chance again.
Something that impressed me about it was you got stronger as the fight went on and you never lost your will to win. And that's something I look at is that you won later rounds in that fight despite having lost some of the early rounds.
Well, I still felt like I have some gas in my tank. I was motivated because I understood that this is, look, like at this age, like when I fought him, I was 37, now I'm 38. And like you have to put everything online, otherwise it might be your last chance. This is what, oh, David called me. I'll skip it. So yeah, this is what like what motivated me in the late rounds, and I've tried but didn't manage to win the fight.
At 38 years old, I would assume that you want to get into a title fight as soon as possible because time is working against you. Is that the plan, basically?
Well, yeah, but again, like, is there opportunity I can fight for title next? So basically, I not feel like I need any time to warm up or like any tune-up fights. Well, this one tune-up fight, but again, I'm ready for any challenges, and because I have my experience, I have a lot, and I know how to prepare myself for those big fights. I don't really need this time to again to adjust to tune up because I'm there, and just give me a date and I'll be ready.
In a perfect world, what would you want? You have history with two of the top light heavyweights, and there's one guy that I do not know if you have amateur history with, but in Dmitry Bivol, you've never fought him as a pro. Would it be more interesting to fight Benavidez or Beterbiev, or would it be more interesting to fight Bivol?
Listen, obviously for now, Bivol would be the best option because now he's undisputed. And of course, all people are attracted by belts, and this is like chance to put your name in a history again. So obviously Bivol is the best priority. But again, all those big names, sometimes the people like Beterbiev, Benavidez, even when you fight them, you don't even have to have belt on the line because you fight an already legendary fighter, and which is will anyways put your name in a history. So yeah, all of those guys on my target.
Okay.
On
Would you be willing to fight like maybe an up and comer like this weekend? I'm not sure how big of a fight fan you are, but there's guys like Anthony Yarde, big deal in Britain. You know, he's got a big name over there. Are those the types, or are you kind of waiting for opportunities and maybe seeing if there's an eliminator bout you could take or get a fight with a big name?
That's what I'm telling you. If I'm telling you that I'm willing to fight, better be. Why wouldn't I be willing to fight Yard, Smith, Boatsi? I tell me any one of them. I'm ready for everyone. So
I love it. I love that energy. I love it. I just had to get that so I didn't put words in your mouth, but I love that type of energy. That's the energy I'm here for.
I'm 38 years old. There's not time to hand pick fighters. You have opportunity, just take it and fight because it can be lost one.
Okay. Any observations about like watching from the outside looking in about Better Beeve and Bivol? Is there anything you see about the stylistic matchup that one favors you?
Both fighters are great. They both has different styles. Obviously, Better Be it's like a bulldozer who's coming relentlessly. Like I've been in the ring with him. It's not a cool place to be in, and he has a lot of power. Beal, on the other hand, handled like a man. I think he kind of was a little too cautious in the first fight. Maybe his condition did let him, or maybe something else. Maybe he was convinced that he is ahead on points. I don't know, which cost him basically the winning the fight in the first one, and second one. I think he worked on his mistake better. But on the other hand, I think Better BF did also some improvements. So basically, the second fight I like way better than the first one because it was like from both fighters they showed more. I would say more desire to win this fight, and Bill was better. So great fight. This is those fights which fan likes, which is again, as I'm already repeating myself a couple times, those fights are going into the history.
Okay, that's good. And that what I like as a fan, I always love those championship rounds when someone shows urgencies and separates in it. As a fan, that kind of gets me emotionally connected. I don't know where the question is, but I just wanted to say that.
Cool. Yeah, I feel the same way. Of course.
Good. I like where we're going with this. Anything else fascinating? I guess one thing I'd like to ask you is who's the best you've ever sparred?
Ever sparring? Oh, this is a hard question because I spar a lot of guys, and Canelo probably, I would say.
What's his standout trait to you?
Canelo?
Yeah, like when you get in there with him, you feel the bone density, you feel the punches, you
Oh
see
yeah,
him moving. What do
look,
you see?
Canelo, what I was impressed about is his power. Basically, you see he actually started his career, I guess, 140, 147, I guess 140. And now he developed to be the champion in light heavyweight. Now he goes back to 168, but still he knocked out the Kovalev and get a light heavyweight title. I mean, this guy has some power, and I can tell. Like when you look on him, he looks like a small guy. Yeah, he's muscular, he's chunky, but still, like you visually, you think you're gonna spar some small guy. But soon as the bell rings, you don't feel the insufficiency of power in his fist at all. I would say he hits pretty solid, even for the light heavyweight. You don't have to take those punches because this is, and it's for me hard to impress how those guys in 154, 160 felt themselves when he hit them, because this guy can hit, and this is probably now one of the main weapons he has, you know.
That's
So yeah,
good. Good
but
insight.
this is pretty good. It's very hard to hit. So basically, you hit him and you land those punches sometimes, but it's very hard to connect hard punch to him. He slips, he's move his hands, so very skilled fighter. Yeah, I was impressed.
So he's hard to hit and he hits hard. That sounds like a bad
Yeah,
combo.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not a cool combo to be in a ring with.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you've watched any of William Skull, but I'm just kind of curious, maybe from a fight fan perspective, have you seen any of William Skull, and do you think he offers anything for Canelo that could make the fight difficult?
Honestly, I don't even know who this guy is. I just saw him face on the poster, and this is all I know about William School.
Well, you are like a lot of other people around the world. I know of him because I watch a lot of boxing, but I think that the majority of people are like you. Who's the best you ever fought?
I guess Beterbiev. Yeah, Beterbiev, definitely like undisputed world champion. Yeah, no question about that.
How how did the power stack up between Canelo and Obviously, one was sparring, one's a fight, but where would you rank the power in that?
I mean, they have different power, and like Beterbiev has this heavy power. Canela, he more like explosive power. Like some people asking me, like, actually, like I want to say that the guy, the hardest hitter I've been in the ring ever, it was Stevenson. But this guy definitely wasn't the best guy I fought. It was Beterbiev. But like one punch, it was definitely Stevenson, because it combination of weight, or whatever, how to say, mass, or like those punches are heavy and sharp. Beterbiev, he probably, because lack of acceleration, you kind of see them, maybe they're a little predictable. They're super heavy, super heavy. But I think he has lack of acceleration. Otherwise, he would be just, I don't know, just a killer. Canela, I think his punch is crisp, and I would say again, the thing is about Beterbiev, every his move, every his punch is equally heavy. Either jab, either it's like left hook, either combination, and if he throws four punches, all those four punches equally heavy. Like, because again, this is just his natural power. I don't know if you can develop that. Canelo, on the other hand, he more explosive. He throws those like crispy special left hook, right hook, but usually it's one punch. If I would evaluate one punch, I think the one which Canelo hits, they're more effective. They harder. But he throws one punch, and then he need to wait. He need to look. He need to recharge. Beterbiev, maybe, so I would say his single punch not as heavy or not as effective as Canelo does, but he just throwing them one after another, and all of them just equally heavy. And they just accumulating, and then eventually, obviously, it's harder to cope with, I would say.
And Stevenson's punches, if you were at the end of the left hand, is that what you're talking about? That heavy shot? He had good snap with extension.
So from both hands. The problem with Stevenson, he doesn't throw a lot. He's just looking, he's waiting, and then if you blink, then you can close your eyes and goodbye and bye-bye. Because if he wants to hit you and land this power punch, you'll be done for sure. But he throws like a couple of those per round. So basically, this is what I was watching all the time, like not to slip this punch, not to miss this punch because it's gonna be the last one, you know.
What's the greatest performance of your career as a professional?
I guess Stevenson, I became a world champion, and this is probably my highlight. I beat the reigning world champion who was there for 6 years, I guess, or 6 or 5 successful defenses. Yeah, definitely. This was the one.
And one other thing I want to touch on before I let you go is you came back to boxing with a new management team, I believe. I was just curious about if that's true and how that came about.
Well, like when I back to boxing, I start with Eddie Reynoso, Canelo. We did a 4 grade fight, then we fought Benavidez. And then I guess we're still in a very good relationship. My all respect to Canelo team. I would say they brought me back to boxing. I'm very thankful for them. But I would say they're busy, like, and now I'm start with 3 point management. My manager is David Zoo. Like I was helping Zurdo Ramirez a lot, and we kind of get into a really good relationship with each other. Then I was helping them in Saudi for his last fight, and we decided to try to work together. We'll see how it's gonna work out.
Okay. Anything else you're dying to tell me?
No, I'm not really dying. I'm cool.
Well, that was really fun, man. I appreciate the way that you fight. You've always been someone I've deeply respected. I think that you have a combination of an exciting style, but a very thinking style. And I think that you're very underrated for how high you've operated. You've been at a very high level for a very long time in this sport.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay. Well, you made it through my interview.